Hey everyone, my name is Olaf and today I'll teach you how to make this exact animation in Blender. As always, it's going to be straightforward, quick and easy, so let's get started. Okay, so start off by switching from Blender Render to Cycles Render and then click X to delete the default cube. Then click Shift+A and add a UV sphere. Then click S to scale it up. And then go into the modifiers, add a modifier and add the subdivision surface modifier to increase the amount of polygons. And then make sure to apply the modifier and then click smooth shading and then select the lamp and click X to delete it and then click Shift+A and add a sun lamp, which will be the main light source of the scene. And click G, then set to grab the sun on the Z axis and make sure to go into the sun settings and increase the strength to about 5 for now to make the sun stronger. And then when we go into the render view, you will see what it looks like with the sun as the main light source. And then make sure to switch to the GPU device if you have one. If not, just keep using the CPU. And for color, or the background color, we will make it completely black. Then select the sphere once again and click new and add an image texture. Now what we need to do next is to unwrap the sphere. So click Shift+Z to go back to solid view and then click Tab to go into edit mode and click U to unwrap and make sure it's a sphere projection. Then open a new window and go into the UV image editor. And now we need to go to the browser. So search for Olaf 3D and then finished files. You will find the link in the description and download these 3 images that you see below. And then go back to Blender. And the first image we will add is the map of the Earth. So select the colors image and then click open image. And as you can see, we have the image and then select it in the material. And when we click Shift+Z for rendered view, you will see what it looks like on a sphere. Now, what we need to do next is to add some height to the map. So we need to add a bump map. So let's go to normal and under vector select bump. And then under height, we need to add the bump map. So add an image texture. And then we need to go back to the UV image editor and add a new image, which is the bump map, so that the bump map is applied to the unwrapped sphere. And then select it next to open. And then we have the bump map as well. But before we can see what it looks like, we need to go to the node editor and just do a quick change in the node setup. Holding Control to disconnect the connection between the 2 nodes and then connect color and height. And that's all we have to do in terms of node editing. Okay, and as you can see now, we have some height to the map. And now we can adjust the strength of the height. So let's set it to 0.75, which I think it looks good. You can obviously add whatever strength you want. Now, this part is optional, but if you want to, you can rotate the Earth by clicking R then Y to rotate it on the Y-axis, or R then X to rotate it on the X-axis. Obviously, the Earth is tilted 23 degrees in real life when it rotates around the sun, but if you want to, you can make it look more like what you see on a world map, which I like to do. And then we need to duplicate the sphere to add the clouds. But first we need to switch from the node editor to the UV image editor. And then click Shift+D to duplicate, then click S, then 1.005 to scale the sphere 1.005 times. Then left click to confirm. And then deselect the material and add a new one. And this one will be a mixed shader. So go to the mixed shader. And then the first shader will be a transparent shader. Then the second one will be a diffuse shader. And we will add the image texture for the clouds to the diffuse shader. So switch from normal colors to the image texture. And then click Tab to go into edit mode. And now we need to add the cloud image to the vertices. So add clouds. And then we need to go to the material once again and add the clouds. And when we go into rendered view, you will see that the clouds are added, but the planet is a bit darker. So we need to increase the strength of the sun. So right click to select the sun. And then maybe 12 for strength. and change the name to clouds. And then I will call the map sphere colors. And now it's time to make a third duplication for the atmosphere, which is blue. So we need to make sure to select the cloud sphere, and then click Shift+D to duplicate, and then click S, then 1.01. And then left click to confirm, and then deselect the material and make a new one, and this one will be a mixed shader. So switch to mixed shader, and then set the factor to 0.95. And then the first shader will be a diffuse shader, and then the second one will be a transparent shader. As you can see, the factor is set at 0.95, which means that 95% of the material is the transparent material, and the rest will be the blue color for the diffuse shader. So just choose a shade of blue that you like and think looks sort of realistic, and then go for it. Now, if you want to change the strength of the sun, you can also do it. I will set it at 20. But if you think it's too strong or too weak, you can change the value. So it's completely up to you. And I click Numpad 0 to look through the camera, and I click Shift+F to use the fly cam, and you move around with W, A, S, and D, just like in a video game. And then find a position that you like for the camera, and then let's remove this window and see what it looks like. Okay, so I'll make a few adjustments to the camera before I go to the next step of this tutorial, which is to animate the planet. So select the clouds, and then hold in Shift, and then select the colors, and then click Control+P to set it parent to the color sphere. And then for the blue one, hold in Shift, and then select the colors, and then click Control+P once again, so that they are set parent to the color sphere. And now you can click R, then Set, to rotate it on the Z axis, as you can see. So now we are able to control every layer at the same time, which is very important for the animation. So let's click Shift+Z to go back to solid view, and I click N, and I click I on the rotation to keyframe the rotation. Then go to frame 250, which is the end of the animation, and then we rotate the Earth. So click R, then Set to rotate the sphere on the Z axis. How much you want to rotate it is up to you. And then left click to confirm the rotation, and I click I to keyframe the new rotation. Now, because of the way Blender is set up by default, the animation speeds up and then slows down again. So we need to change the animation type to a linear type. So go to the graph editor, and I click T to change the keyframe interpolation to linear. That way the rotation will be constant, or have a constant speed, which is very important for a planet animation. Now let's go to render settings, increase the resolution quality to 100%. And then we need to make an output folder where the final animation is saved. So make a new folder, wherever you want on the computer, and then select the folder, and then give the animation a name. I'm just going to call it Tut, like I always do. And then we go down to sampling. I will set it to 200. With more samples, you get a clearer image and less noise. And then go to performance if you have a GPU and set it to 500. If not, just keep it at 64 if you use a CPU. So let's make a test render so that you know how long it takes to render each frame, and also to see what it looks like. And I think it looks great, so let's render out the animation. And that's it for this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, leave a like and subscribe, and I'll post a new tutorial next week. So thanks for watching.